So millions of people are digging through millions of pages of the Epstein files that have been uploaded to the Department of Justice website. And some of the things people have found just will chill you to your core. A lot of people made assumptions of what Jeffrey Epstein and this international crew of criminal traffickers was up to behind closed doors, and a lot of people didn't want to believe that it was as bad as they could have imagined. But unfortunately, some of the files that have been released, some of which allegedly have been put up and then hastily taken down because it got realer than it was supposed to, they seem to reveal at least some evidence to suggest that Jeffrey Epstein and his network were quite literally engaging in a international market for buying and selling human beings. Literally women, girls. They were emailing around, offering humans up seemingly for sale or for trade or for, I guess, lease, rental. I don't know how you would describe it, okay? But this is going around. They're saying this is a set of DOJ deleted emails of girls being brought and sold. And look, I don't even want to zoom in too far, but what you can see here, the faces have been redacted. Anything not safe for work has been redacted. But these are emails where seemingly Epstein and his associates, they're going back and forth. They're emailing out with pictures of girls that are available, that are on the market, and are being offered up. It's crazy. Okay, it is actually crazy. I did see one comment that kind of made me laugh. They said, how is there not a real life Ghost Rider or Punisher or fucking Batman at least? Because these are literally, okay, these are literally the most heinous acts that we literally need Batman. It's gotten that bad. And it's ironic they're saying the guy who could theoretically be the real life Iron Man is in the Epstein files, and he's also a drug addicted loser. Okay, now they have apparently redacted and removed these files that contain these images, but what is still available in the files is the now fully redacted emails that apparently accompanied these sordid images. So there's not really much information to glean. Forwarded message with some information. The only thing unredacted is the letter C here. That's the clue. That's the only clue that we've got. We don't know who it's from. We don't know who it was to. It was forwarded to Jeffrey Epstein from someone else. The attachments were all of those images that were very creepy. And basically, you know, we don't want to believe that there is some kind of international network of people buying and selling girls, but it seems that that might actually be the case, unfortunately. And these 2026 disclosures have breathed new life into a 2020 conspiracy theory that suggested that missing children were actually being sold through a major online retailer, okay? This is going to sound ridiculous and silly, but this was going around quite some time ago, okay? The Wayfair missing girls theory. And I remember hearing this at the time and thinking it was absolute nonsense. But I'm pretty sure people have now been alleging that there is some suspicious and high-ticket Wayfair purchases being found in Epstein's emails. It's insane.
Wayfair was selling furniture with the same name as missing girls. For example, in 2019, a 17-year-old girl from Ohio named Samaya went missing. Then, a few days later, Wayfair listed a Samaya 5 shelf storage cabinet for almost $13,000. In 2020, a 16-year-old girl from Connecticut named Yuritsa went missing. And a few days later, the Yuritsa storage cabinet went up for sale on Wayfair for just under $14,000. May 2020, from Kansas City, a 14-year-old girl named Annabelle goes missing. Same storage unit, sold on Wayfair, Annabelle with the same selling for just under $11,000. January 2020, Kyla Coleman, 16 years old from Cleveland, goes missing. You can already guess, Wayfair, same name, this one discounted for $12,000. Everyone always called this a conspiracy theory until now, when a receipt from Wayfair was found in the Epstein files. Look, we know that Jeffrey Epstein's network has a history with missing girls. Don't forget this picture of John Benet Ramsey and Ghislaine Maxwell lurking in the background. Back to the receipt. It was purchased by Karina, Jeffrey Epstein's longtime girlfriend, on June 28, 2018. It was for one item totaling $8,400. and I've tried, but I can't find out what the item was. What I do know is that on June 23rd, 5 days prior, a girl named Joanna went missing from Columbus, Ohio. And still to this day, she has never been found. But back in the day when this conspiracy was spreading online, there was a high-priced Joanna cabinet circulating in the chats from the same WFX utility company. Just for context, the WFX company is still selling the same storage units on Wayfair, but they're only $139. Jeffrey Epstein's girlfriend Karina wasn't just making purchases on Wayfair. She's also active in the files for making purchases off of Etsy. We know that back during this time, Etsy also had some very weird postings. The reality is that none of this proves anything, but it does make you think that if this type of activity was happening, who was behind selling these items to Jeffrey and his network, allegedly? And where's Epstein's longtime girlfriend, Karina? She was a dentist, which might explain why he had these rooms. Just 2 days before his passing, his estate signed everything over to her. We're talking about the properties, Zorro Ranch, the island, and hundreds of millions of dollars. So, does she know where all the bodies are buried? I say that figuratively, of course.
Figuratively, of course. Okay, now the Wayfair conspiracy is wild. Oh no. It says, I also see references to furniture shipments from Bali. What? Benny has informed me all the furniture and statues have been picked up and are ready to be shipped. Daphne, could you kindly follow up with Belly to ensure the paperwork for shipping and customs is in order? I understand everything will be shipped after the holidays that end this week. Could you please provide the exact date? For the Bali shipment, yes, I will. I mean, back when the Wayfair conspiracy started circulating, an influencer who had the money decided to see what happened when they actually ordered one of these overpriced storage cabinets. Wayfair immediately cancelled and refunded the order with zero explanation. They would not answer any questions about why until days later, after lots of persisting. After lots of pestering, they just cited inventory issues. No other explanation. Yeah, okay. I looked this up after forgetting about it for a few years, and a lot of the articles initially written about this conspiracy have been taken down, except for the ones claiming it's false, of course. This is wild. People saying I'm starting to be convinced about this theory 100%. I just wish more decency people with money had tried buying that stuff to see what would happen. I'd be 99% convinced if they all had inventory issues. That's what's funny, right? Because the alternative explanation is that, like, furniture companies, because of their inventory, the way they list things, if they're out of stock of things, maybe sometimes it's easier to just make it $10,000 so no one buys it rather than making your inventory zero. Perhaps. I've heard that said before. But at the same time, if someone tries to buy a $10,000 cabinet and you're actually in the business of shipping cabinets, you probably muster one up. You probably put one together for your $10,000. It's possible other people tried but didn't dig around to see the listings that everyone was speculating on were taken down when the theory started getting traction on the internet, so it's possible they didn't have a chance to try. It would have been an interesting experiment. People saying this is absolutely terrifying. Where's his girlfriend? Wayfair, JP Morgan Chase banks are all a part of this. Oh no, not JP Morgan Chase banks. God, no, please leave them out of this. Now, even more disturbing, okay, are some of the very uniquely spelled names that do potentially match some of the disappearances in New Mexico near Epstein Zorro Ranch. And I broke this down in a previous video about how there were several, close to a dozen bodies of females found in New Mexico. You know, not too far, not completely unrealistically far from the Epstein Zorro Ranch. So, for example, one of the names that's come up here is a missing person in New Mexico, Caitlin Morrison, okay, missing from Mesa, Arizona. People should contact the Mesa Police Department in Arizona. Now, some people felt like because around then, another very expensive, suspiciously expensive couch named Caitlin, all right, would appear for sale for $26,000 on Wayfair. Right, and this is 6 years ago, so I can't lie. I questioned the whole child trafficking on Wayfair thing, and I did my own research and came across this. Funny how this basic sectional piece is priced at $26,000 and has a girl's name, and it's Caitlynne. Is it C-A-I-T? Caitlynne. So the spelling is exactly the same. A bit sus. Okay. Originally $42,000. This point interests me. Many of the already insane prices are marked down a bit. So how is it the excuse that the items are marked up to make unavailable to purchase work if they're in fact being lowered? Even if the human trafficking thing is BS, it's still pretty weird to charge $26K for a $450 sofa. It's really weird. The guy who was tasked with setting the prices so high no one would buy the product was also going to the missing children website and using names that you found there as names for the listing, since it doesn't matter. He just did it for a goof, and this is some big misunderstanding. The world is great, and we're all fine. That's what they're saying, okay? Somebody pointed it out, saying we need a billionaire to buy this couch and see what they get. Same thing they got yesterday. Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. Okay, if you Google the SKU, it pulls up a bunch of couches on this other sketchy website called Pataku. Can someone whose internet's better look into this? I think there's something to it. I don't know. The weirdest thing is how strange the spellings are. It's not uncommon to name styles using girl's name, but they usually have basic spellings, not unique niche spelling. Shipping time seems off. What's the shipping time? Get it in 8 to 10 weeks. I don't even want to go there. Okay. Now, interestingly enough, funnily enough, and this is in the Epstein subreddit, an ex-Wayfair employee would recently comment about her time working for the company, right? So this is in the Epstein subreddit 4 days ago. Comments from an ex-Wayfair employee. As someone who worked at Wayfair, there's a reason I quit. Hold up, pause, spill the tea. He said, oh, we also straight up told we were not allowed to discuss the Wayfair scandal in any way, shape, or form in our personal lives, and especially at work. You could get fired for it. I really don't feel super comfy, but the two things were, 1, don't question the overpriced furniture. It doesn't need review. And 2, there sure were a lot of calls about buying multiple bunk beds for 4+ kids, like 4-kid bunk beds. But they're buying like 10 of them. Bring it up to management. Just sell it to them. That's your job, often purchased by aggressive and shady men. I want to say for the record, okay, this is just internet speculation, all right? I don't want Wayfair to send the hitters at my head, all right? I'm just reading a bunch of internet speculation. Love being alive. Don't know. This is probably all just crazy conspiracy theories, all right? These are all opinions and internet conspiracy theories. None of this is absolute fact. And I actually do like Wayfair. I've ordered a few pieces of furniture off Wayfair. Reasonably priced, however. Okay, so don't come at me with those sorts of accusations. Anyway, okay, so I mean, if you think about it, drop shippers are a fantastic opportunity to illegally sell items and launder the money. That's a good point. The option to purchase is not for everyone. This tells me that only certain rich white PDFs have access to purchase, almost as if they have a catalog with the names and pics of the people so they can go online and purchase. What? Oh, man. People saying it. Okay, to be fair, all right, we'll give the other side. Seems like attention seeking to me. There's a reason why I quit working at Wayfair. That grabs people's attention as to why and what happened. Then she proceeds to mention 2 things which were already very public, nothing to see here. And this person straight up says, bullshit. Pizzagate is being proven to be a psyop, hoax, distraction from the real crimes. This is a desperate attempt at distraction. Okay, I feel like, that's a valid opinion to some people. I think there are distraction campaigns going on all sides of the media zeitgeist. But anyway, there are some more email chains after this that seem to showcase a recurring pattern of kind of disturbing behavior when it came to Jeffrey Epstein's inbox and making purchase of things. There was a disturbing back and forth between Epstein and an alleged partner where somebody would said, you offered to buy my baby. And so I haven't seen anyone talk about this one yet as far as I know. Let's have a look, all right. It's going to be bad. This is going to be bad. This is bad. Okay, let me get nice and dig deep into this one. I'm going to read it from the bottom to the top, pause, so that it's in order. It says, there are emails after emails stating you need to be productive, contribute, helpful, you respond, treat me like your child. And then the response to that, yes, that's true, but your idea of contribution was about massages, cooking, dancing, organizing closets, arranging flowers, serving food, and other activities fit for intellectually challenged people who are not capable of accomplishing anything meaningful. The activities you encouraged were only good for you, zero benefit to my potential growth or potential career. You constantly underestimated me. When I decided to go to design school, you didn't let me do my assignments because you felt I should be spending my time catering to you. It wasn't worth the flight, so I gave up and quit. When I started to fly and do something special for my personal growth, for a change, you were against it too. I refused to be discouraged by the same fights and spent time learning anyway. You still paid for it, which I thank you, but it led to endless arguments and ultimately the end of our relationship. So who is this he's talking with? It's redacted, okay, but it's Jeffrey Epstein going back and forth with what sounds like some kind of romantic love interest. It says, design school was not about design, but about drafting. Again, yes, the things I asked you to do was to contribute to my life as opposed to simply taking without giving. You still find that odd since you got clothes, money, travel, healthcare, school. I asked that you do something in return again, and I still think you should only get. You have made my point for me. They replied, well, we disagree. It may not have been cooking and filing your nails, but I did more than anyone else you know would ever do for you in the same situation. And this is 2013, 5 years after his PDF charges. It says, and I agree I've supported you for years because, however, you see zero happening that supports your contention and that I was doing this as part of an agreement. And here comes the bombshell. It says there were quite a few things that were known parts of our lives that we never discussed in writing. I can't convince you of what you said, but your interpretation of past events and emails is different from mine. While they may not confirm the existence of your promise, they certainly don't disprove it. Maybe you forgot, maybe you didn't mean it, but it doesn't change the fact I lived for years under the impression that my future was not safe. I can't go back 10 years and change my decisions. I do not know what to do with that information now. When I met you, I wouldn't accept any money from you. You used to sneak $100 bills into my fake Louis Vuitton purse. As time passed, you made me believe that it was okay to accept it, expect it, and be able to feel safe. It was not my idea. It was very uncomfortable for me. And I would never come up with such a deal, ever ask you for money. It was only after years of you making all kinds of voluntary promises and commitments that I started to believe that it was okay and I could rely on you for your support. You made many unusual offers. You offered to buy my baby 6 months into our relationship. And 6 years later, you offered to support my next boyfriend. Do you remember that? It's probably not in any emails either. And I understand nobody would believe it. Whoopsie, now you're in the Epstein files. That would be arguable, except for the fact that, again, it's not like a contrary position does not exist. It exists over and over. Yes, you didn't like taking cash, but took everything else, okay? People are saying, man, the way this freak exploited women is gut-wrenching. Everything is money with this guy. Buy them young and throw them out later. And for him to spend hardly any time in jail for 30 years of this going on is sickening and speaks volumes of who's who and who in the world enabled him. Death was too easy of an escape for this mofo. The world is a horrible place. Horrors beyond imagination. People saying, baby buying aside, he's clearly such a manipulative asshole, and he clearly thought he could just buy people, these women included, and play mind games about it. People are saying, who was he talking to? People are saying, Nadia, possibly. She became a pilot in 2012 after allegedly being sold to him when much younger. Edit to add, there are other emails between them, and apparently there are photos where she appears to be pregnant that were posted in here 2 days ago. So this is in r/Epstein. It says, Epstein once bragged that he purchased Nadia Marcinko, age 14, from her parents overseas, kept her as a slave, and later used her to get others involved. She has been missing since early 2024 from New York City. She vanished right after the files were unsealed. Her whereabouts are unknown. What the fuck? She vanished. Bro, it's crazy. It's crazy. Why blur out the other creeps? They knew what was up with the whole situation. Okay. I went looking for the photo. It appears in this article, A History of Epstein Island, with a bunch of other photos from there. Unfortunately, the version here has been cropped. Same thing. It identifies his conspirators. Insanity. Okay? Insanity. I assumed that she would have fled out the US as she's a criminal herself. She was his accomplice and she lured and abused girls too. She was granted immunity in an '08 legal case, but all she did was plead the fifth to everything and shared nothing. She also visited him in prison supposedly 70 times when he was in Florida. I think her place in New York was still being paid for by Epstein's estate that Mark manages. People are saying, I'm sure Epstein bought more children than just her, and I think how could a parent sell their child? But I scroll through TikTok to learn about how parents mess up their own kids and have sold their kids to be bad stuff happen to them. And this happens in every community. It happens in yours. It might happen in your neighborhood or apartment complex. It's so common. I'm disgusted by people. Okay, I don't even want to get into some of this. It's going to make me sad. But that's crazy, all right? People are saying, is this Nadia? There's pictures going around. People saying they don't know if that's her. They found a comparison. They think it's totally her. But really, this is the one that people think is crazy. They're saying that's Nadia pregnant, and that's what she's talking about when they're saying he offered to buy her baby. Apparently, that is a picture of her with child, okay? I wonder how many kids he has running around today who have no idea who their father is. I bet it is dozens. It's actually twisted. It's twisted, okay? Now, elsewhere, okay, there were more mentions, apparently, of this kind of thing. And one of the instances that's been going around is a December 2015 correspondence between Epstein and members of the most powerful, one of the most powerful family in the world, the Rothschilds. Okay, this is going around. People are saying asset girls. Is that talking about working girls? And basically people are saying, I'm starting to believe that one of the Rothschilds, I'm scared, played a role in the ring. The more I read into the emails, the more I believe she's part of Mossad with Epstein and Ehud Barak. All right. Got all these photos. They're trying to piece the dots together. Found a document where Epstein, Rothschild, Alberto, Pintos were all subpoenaed. It makes me feel like American intelligence believes they revolved. They're all on document together with info to chase leads. Okay. It says, it's basically this one. It says, good luck today. Let's get this closed. Have Kathy meet with David and his people, review Rockefeller, hire asset women. Do we use DOJ in its harsh language to remove Benjamin? Begin family plan. Look for partners. What kind of partners? What kind of asset girls? They're saying external auditors just announcing that FINMA is requesting age limit. Hilarious. I'm sure they will find unacceptable wordings. Okay. I'm sure you're enjoying Misha. Great fun. Did you get my present? Have fun in Davos. Mingle with the women. They are the future. Did you get my present? I'm just, yeah. All I have to say about this is if you're going to redact the sender, you need to redact the signatures too. All right? Crazy. It's crazy. There's just so much crazy stuff going on. So there'll be another email that a lot of people have been desperately demanding that whoever sent this message to Jeffrey Epstein be identified. It's just simply an email with an image and it says age 10. We don't know what the image is. I don't want to know what the image is. They're saying members of Congress will be able to review the unredacted files in the coming days. They need to see who sent this. All right. They need to see it. Okay. It needs to be uncensored. People need to know. How is this not a criminal offense? Why isn't whoever sent that prosecuted? The question is, why is the sender's name redacted? They're to protect the victims, not anyone else. Seen this over and over and over again. The government is protecting the perpetrators themselves. I'm scared. I'm scared. All right. Apparently there's another email that says age 11 or age 12. Both are disheartening. Let's hope the committee and the other folks do something about this. Okay. Now, further emails from the following year would show more discussions regarding methods to raise newborns without mothers. It's just the depravity is just reaching untold lows. So here's another message, okay, from Mark Tramo. It says, hi, JEE. Thanks for sending Richard Johnson my way. I trust the kind words I shared with him are acceptable to you. If not, please let me know ASAP. I'm on the road and my cell is blank. If A-OK, then I hope you realize this recognition for all you do for so many of us is, in my opinion, overdue and well-deserved. Cheers, Mark. P.S. I was just reading today that newborns will... I've seen this one. This one's disgusting. Disgusting. Will suck on their pacifier more vigorously if it triggers playback of a recording of his or her mother's voice than another woman's voice. Have you read David Brooks's book, Social Animal? Was #1 at New York Times for quite a while. Yeah. I think just burn the whole thing down. We're good. The whole thing, just burn it down. Get rid of it all. Okay, get rid of it all. I don't know if this was an idea of we want the kids to do this, or it's we need to think about ways that we can get the kids to be comfortable without their mothers around. I'm going to do another video where I'm digging into this idea that he was trying to run a baby farm. I'm just tired of it, man. I'm so tired of it. Now, the last thing I'm going to show you in this one, okay, and this seems to be the final nail in the coffin, really, for everything I could find on this topic. An email from September 2018, just a year before he was arrested, where Jeffrey Epstein seemingly discussed trafficking straight up. All right. So this says, not a sex trafficking ring. Explain this. So I haven't seen much attention to this email chain, which in my opinion is the most damning evidence of obvious trafficking of underage girls in the files. All right. And this is an email that said that she had soft blank and then it said underage question mark. And then someone replies, she said she was 14, 15 years old. And he said, you can fly to see her if you like. And then this is another message. This is in a wider. Oh, I don't even want to mention this, but it's like, it said there was basically, I don't want to read it, but it says there was a video of them in the bathtub. She said she had 4 or 5 jobs with them. How long has she worked for George Models? Odessa, question mark. Is that, I guess, was that Odessa? Is that Ukraine? It says, waiting to hear from blank, setting up meetings in Moscow and Vilnius for now. Blank from Odessa. Is she past porn girl? You might talk to her as if she have lots of friends. Okay, this is just twisted. This is just twisted. This is absolutely twisted. We need to know who sent these emails. We need to know who he was corresponding with. This is actually insane. This is actually insane. Okay, had to remove the link to the mentioned agency, but it still operates today. I don't even, this is actually it's getting out of hand. It says, oh, we know they lied about this as soon as any of us read anything, and realistically, as soon as we heard the words come from the gov's mouth. Oh no. Oh no. At the very least, all of the traffickers belong in prison forever if there were no Johns other than Epstein, which is a lie. Attending parties to meet trafficked women, let alone minors, is still a felony. Bill Gates should already be in jail regardless of victim age. Just a completely botched cover-up. And now people involved should be getting prison sentences too. That's just a comment. I'm not saying that. I'm good. I'm good. I'm going to stay out of it. I'm going to go back to covering rapper beefs because this is actually so scary. There is a mostly unredacted name of the person who was communicating in there. Just noting. Uh-oh. 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 Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I'm scared. All right? I'm scared. I'm scared. There's stuff in here that just goes so far. I don't even want to go. It's crazy. It's crazy. There's legitimately so many emails that discuss trafficking over and over and over again. I feel like the FBI would be better run by those of us who seem to comprehend what we're reading. I'm scared. I'm grossed out. That's actually, all right. So look, this collection of links, the idea that people are being bought and sold, this is probably one of the grossest ones that I've covered in this. I'm getting really tired of covering this now, but you know, I feel like every day I'm thinking we ain't going to get anything crazier than what we've just seen, and we do. And it's just messed up, and it's just really sad. I hope it stops. I hope that humanity as a whole can heal from this and move forward positively. It is so, so sad. Some of the worst things that you could possibly imagine are actually going on in the world by the sounds of it. The only thing that we can celebrate is that Jeffrey Epstein is just dead. We're smoking him. He's in a pack. He's cookies. He's runts. It's what he deserves. He deserves it. All right. Thank God. He is down there in hell having a party with everybody who belongs to be down there. That's the best solace that we can take from this. Okay, right now. And I, for one, will be going to roll up the Epstein pack and relax after this. Okay. So let me know what you thought of this video. I'm going to do some more stuff on Epstein tomorrow. I might cover some other stuff, but really it's the Epstein thing and Lil Baby shooting a footballer is like probably the only things we're trying to hear about right now. Okay, it is what it is. So let me know if there's any other aspects of this that you want me to dig into. I will catch you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. But for now, I'm out here, folks. Peace.